What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Gertie, and this is Kart Critique, a new series where I break down 5 of my recent races, see what I did right, see what I did wrong, in an attempt to hone my skills and improve my racing. So our first race is on TikTok Clock, and according to Shortcat.pro, this track is a runner. If you guys didn't know, Shortcat worked with some pro players, and they created a great website that you can reference to give you strategies for different tracks and bullet bill extensions. I have it linked in the description down below, so you can try it for yourself. Trust me, guys, it's pretty useful. So because this track is a runner, I want to try and stay as close to the front as possible in the beginning here. Now, if I were better, you can actually go down the middle of the clock hands in the beginning here to save you some time, but I haven't practiced it, so I opt not to go for that. I'm close to the front at this point, so I'm just trying to maintain right here. I should be using my my rear view mirror a little bit more, but I have protection, so I think I'm okay. And we're just going down the straightaway right now. I see a banana in front of me. I don't want to get lag trailed, and I see First is taking the coins. And then, unfortunately, we get lag trailed anyways. It is unfortunate. Yeah, that is just a part of the game. Even though it looks like he was nowhere on my screen. But then as a retaliation, I try and throw my red to get him because he doesn't have protection. And this is actually a pretty bad play on my part. Because one, the red immediately gets taken out by fire anyway, so it doesn't even get the guy that lag trailed me. So the red was essentially completely useless. And 2, now I'm defenseless in the middle of the pack, and I can easily get redded out here and be in like the very, very back. I see triple greens next to me, so I brake real quickly there to try and get away from them. It's faster to brake really fast, just to get a little bit of space instead of accidentally getting lag trailed or just hit by an item. So that's why I opted to brake a little bit fast. So I'm in 7th now, but that's not really that big of a deal. I barely lost any time. So we're in 6th with a shroom right now, and then those 2 get taken out by a bomb. So now I'm in 4th with 2 shrooms, and there's really no good places to use mushrooms on this track. So I actually use 1 to get rid of the blooper, and then I get shocked anyways, so it's not really that big of a deal. But now I'm in a little bit of trouble because I'm all the way in the very back of the pack here. Yeah, I'm in 10th, and we're on a runner. So I'm gonna have to do some work to get back up. Thankfully, we've got a really tight pack here, and I passed 4 people just by using 1 mushroom. Find myself in 6th, and I use up my remaining mushrooms because I'm getting targeted by a red here, and so I want to try and bring out my triple bananas for defense, but unfortunately I'm doing a trick as the red catches up to me. So instead of hitting my protection, what I believe happened here is the red actually went underneath my cart and hit me. So there was really not a whole lot I could do. Just kind of unlucky there, unfortunately. But yeah, that is part of the game. So just gotta take it. And I find myself in 5th now, or 6th, sorry. So I cycle my my bananas just to try and catch up. I should be using my rear view here, but I used some mushrooms on the straightaway to catch up. Now I'm in 3rd, and I opted to not cycle my last mushroom here in a last-ditch effort to try and catch up to 1st and 2nd because they're very close. In hindsight, I think the best play would have been to actually cycle for more protection here just to secure a top spot, because if I ended up getting hit out here, I mean, I would have dropped back a lot of spots. I probably would have lost VR, so that would have been the safer play, but either way, it ends up working out. I don't get hit out. I don't get redded. And I'm actually able to shroom past 2nd, and I go for a last-second snipe on 1st for fun, and we claim the 2nd. Even though this track was a runner, I was able to combine some good driving and a little bit of a little bit of luck. Honestly, it's just people taking each other out. I was able to secure a second place. So overall, a pretty good race. But what I could take away from that is I should be using my rear view camera more. I hardly used it at all that race, which is not a good habit to get into. So I definitely should have used my rear view camera a little bit more, and I should have prioritized protection at times and not made silly mistakes, because that could have gone sideways very, very easily. It worked out. I got a little bit lucky, but overall could definitely be improved. And I know I need to practice that opening shortcut down the middle of the hands. I know you can go for the shortcuts at the end. Typically, it's really only useful on lap 1, and lap 1 I was already towards the front, and I felt like I didn't really need to make a push for first at that time because I didn't want to get blue shelled. So I opted not to go for it on the first lap. And going for it on the second and third laps, especially online, can be very risky, which is why I did not go for them on either second or third laps. But overall, pretty good race. And let's move on to the next one. Our next race is Donut Plains 3. And this track is considered a bagger. It can be considered a shroomer too, but only if you know the shroomless cuts. So I'm starting in first, so I opt to try and run in the beginning. Just try and collect coins, get a little bit of a lead going. And this is a very short track, so I usually actually opt to go in the water and skip the second item box to build up more of a lead. So I'm trying to build a lead here, and then unfortunately I trail the guy in second, so I lose my protection, leaving me vulnerable. And then I look in my rear view mirror to see second has a red. So before I can even back out, you could see I tried to slow down to back out, but he redded me anyways and left me in a pretty bad spot. And this is where I decide to try and bag. So I slow down to get some shrooms for the next item set, and I want a star as well. So I opt to use one of my shrooms here. I probably should have used it across the grass. That would have been a little bit better, but I try and cycle, and I get a little unlucky and pull the blue shell. So I've only got triple shrooms, but I need to start to catch up a little bit here. So I figure I'm going to try and cycle at the next set, but because there's only 10 people in the lobby, I actually get a pretty bad pull here with only triple mushrooms and a red shell. But I didn't realize how far up I was. I thought I was a lower placement, but I'm in 6th. So hindsight, I actually probably should have waited an extra second to get better items, so I could take this ending the ending shortcuts faster. So I pull triple mushrooms in a red and decide to make a move. I go for the shortcut, but then I get horned. I did see the horn beforehand, but I was just kind of hoping they wouldn't use it. I should have known that they were going to use it because it was right before an item set. They were going to cycle it, and I should have known that in my head and just gone around. But I was just hoping they wouldn't use it, and I ended up paying the price for it. So now I'm in a really tough spot. But I still do have 2 mushrooms and protection, so I can still actually come away with something. And then I get targeted by a red shell, so I try to use my mushroom and get my protection out before the red reaches me, but I realized it too late, and I end up using my mushroom and then getting hit anyways, which is about the worst case scenario here. So now I'm just not in a great place. I have no good items, and I end up just getting last. Everyone else was able to take shortcuts. There was absolutely nothing I could do, and that was the end of the race. So overall, not a great race for me, and I believe a lot of it actually comes down to how I played lap 3. Laps 1 and 2 weren't perfect, but I was actually still in a position to do well. What I should have done is waited an extra second at the boxes to pull a better item, which would have set me up better for the ending cuts. If I had gotten a star or another mushroom, I think I would have been able to pull something better, because I would have been farther behind, and then I wouldn't have been trying to make my move right before everyone was getting to the item set, which is where I got hit. I would have been farther behind, and then they would have been cycling their items, and then I could have passed them. But that's not how it ended up going. But I was getting nervous, and I thought I needed to make a move. So overall, I should have played more patient, and that's kind of what ended up screwing me in this race. Up next is DK Mountain, and this track is considered a drafter and a bagger. Although I often like to run this track, so I'm set up pretty well here in the beginning. I end up not getting a draft though, and no item, but that's alright. Right now I'm just trying to maintain a top spot and hopefully get some good items here. I end up only getting the single box, which is alright, and I try and slow down a little bit to get away from that guy's trail. But we're still in a solid second place, and I throw my red at first to try and apply some pressure and cycle my items. Unfortunately, I get bloopered right before the gap jump, and the traction messes me up, so I fail, which is unfortunate because I'm usually very consistent at that shortcut. And then on top of it, I end up getting lag trailed by that peach with the green shell, and then on top of that I get piranha planted as well. So not in a very good spot here. So now I'm gonna have to try and bag a little bit. Thankfully I do end up pulling a bullet bill, which I'm gonna save until after the glider section. Then we get an item here, and I get a star. So we're in 6th place with the star. Actually not a bad spot, but I don't have too many coins. So I use the star to get rid of the blooper, and then I unfortunately only get a single item again. I pull off the gap cut pretty successfully there, but then there's a red shell waiting for me. Then I see the person that red shelled me has 3 reds, so I actually slow down so I don't end up passing them, and then they end up redding me. But because I was trying to avoid them, I try and take the outside path there, and I end up getting hit by the bullet bill, which is not great. But I pull triple shrooms, and I gotta start trying to make a move here. I'm in 6th with not a lot of coins and not great items here, so I really need to get the double box. Thankfully I pull a bullet bill of my own, I use it immediately, but I got the blue shell in the pocket, so not really great items. And then as soon as I get out of the bullet bill, I have a red shell waiting for me, and I get my item box stolen at the last second, which really hurt. So now I'm in 7th with no item, and this is a really awful spot. But this goes to show just how strong the gap cut is, because I'm able to take it, and I'm all the way in 3rd. I passed 4 people with no item, and I was able to secure the 3rd place. Overall, this was kind of an okay race. I really shouldn't have fallen off on lap 1, but I did and was heavily punished for it, which is why I was in 9th. But I was able to kind of work my way back up, and despite having no item, I was still able to secure a 3rd. So that really shows just how powerful some of the shortcuts are on these stages. And I got a little bit lucky there, but honestly a lot of that came down to the shortcut. So that was really what I can attribute that race to. Our 4th race is Yoshi's Island, and this track is a true 50-50 split between running and bagging. I like to run typically, I'm not very good at bagging, and thankfully I'm able to quickly make my way out to the front of the pack. And then because Dry Bowser gets taken out in 1st, I'm able to break away a little bit. Unfortunately for me, I go wide for some coins, and then someone makes a banana snipe of a lifetime and takes me out. There's really nothing I could do there, just a really good snipe from someone else. But now we're more in the back of the pack here, so might have to try and bag a little bit. Thankfully, I get a solid pull, and someone already hit the bridge, so I opt to just take it. If you guys didn't know, if you have mushrooms and the bridge isn't up, it's actually smarter to not hit the cloud so you can take the shortcut through the dirt at the end. I hold on, and I get a good pull, and I get another star. So I decide my best course of action is to cycle again at the double box. So now I'm in third with a star, and I immediately use my piranha plant right away to get rid of it, and thankfully it takes second place out. So now I'm in second, and first has a pretty big lead. First hit the bridge, so I obviously take that. I don't have a mushroom. And I go to use my horn here to get rid of it, but we get shocked anyways. And now I have a red shell in second, with first still having a pretty big lead here. So I should be trying to maintain second, but I throw my red. And this was actually a pretty bad play that could have ended poorly. And I get lucky and it connects, but what I should have done is looked behind me first to see if third had a red shell. Because then they could have been waiting for me to throw it, and then the second I throw it, I get hit out. But thankfully they didn't have one, or they chose not to throw it. Because I did not check behind me, but it works out for me. I get pretty lucky, and then this next part's a bit of a madhouse. Me and someone else both have fire, and I get lucky and only get hit once, while everyone else seems to take themselves out. And now I'm in first, and now all that's left to do is hit the cloud, but I miss it. And then this leaves an opening for second place, who has a mushroom, to just take some of the off-road, shroom right past me, and then they're able to get the win. Even though I ended in second, this was still a pretty bad race that, honestly, I just got a little bit lucky in. When I got hit out on lap 1, I ended up getting really good items that I was able to cruise into second, but lap 3 was just pure luck. I should not have thrown my red, but it worked out and slowed first down. And then I got lucky that most of the fire missed me while taking out basically everyone else. And then when I pretty much had the win locked up, I missed the cloud to open the shortcut and get second because of it. So even though the results were good, it was still not a great race. I got to take it with a grain of salt, but I was able to take a lot away from this, and I really need to be using my rear view camera more than I think I do. Because I think I use my rear view camera a lot, but watching these videos back, it is apparent that I do not use it enough. So this is very, very helpful for me already. Our last race is Cloud Top Cruise, and this track is a runner. So I want to get to the front of the pack quickly and stay there. You may have noticed I also switched to the Scooty. I don't know, the Teddy hasn't been hitting for me recently, so I swapped towards the end of the play session here, and it felt a little bit better. So I may be swapping to the Scooty soon. We'll see. Unfortunately, I get trailed almost immediately. I very easily could have avoided it as well by going around the bounce pad, because you could clearly see he had a trail, so I kind of deserved that. I'm able to pull 4 shrooms, which is really not that great on this course because there's no good shroom spots. But I'm able to make my way into 5th after the boost panel section. And then I get back spammed right off of the glider. That's actually a really good spot to back people with items, so once again, I probably shouldn't have been driving right behind the person with the triple greens, but I also thought that they would hold them through the cut to make sure they didn't get knocked off, but I was wrong. They backed them, so once again, I kind of deserved that. But then right after that, I get horned off of the cut and fall off the track. So now we are in dead last. There wasn't really any avoiding the horn there, just a little unlucky, but because of my careless driving all of lap 1, I am now in dead last on a runner, which is just about the worst position possible. Thankfully, I pull a bullet bill though, and I use it almost immediately to try and make up some ground. Same thing with the golden. I just wanted to use it before the next item set to try and pull something for a shock dodge, because at this point that's really the only path to victory I see. Unfortunately, I get a pretty awful 8th place box, but that's the danger of being in 8th place and not 9th. If you're in 9th or worse, you're guaranteed a pretty good box. So I should have been in 9th. I should have been paying more attention. So I deserve the bad pull there. Once again, that's on me. Right before the next item set, I cycle my greens, but make sure to keep my banana for protection. I cycle again, and thankfully I'm able to pull a star. And I hold the star until after the glider in hopes of getting a shock dodge. But I use it throughout the boost panel section and no shock dodge. But I'm able to get into 4th with double protection, so I'm actually not in a bad spot. And then 3rd place goes around the shortcut, and I'm able to take the shortcut and actually pass them. To add insult to injury, I accidentally trailed the female villager, which I feel pretty bad about, but we're able to secure the 3rd and make a pretty good comeback on a runner course. Overall, I was driving carelessly in the beginning, which is why I ended up in last, but I had pretty good item management and was able to grab a 3rd place despite no shock dodge on a runner. My takeaways from this video is that I definitely need to use my rear view camera more often, and I should play more patiently and try not to immediately throw an item when I get like lag trailed or hit out, which I did several times throughout the video. There's a couple of shortcuts that I could learn and improve on, like the TikTok clock beginning cut and the Yoshi's Island cloud cut, which both could have helped me a little bit more, I think. But either way, that wraps up my first kart critique video. I will try to get some more races where I finish more in the middle places next time, because I know this video I was either more at the front or the back. But let me know what your thoughts are down below, and if you guys think I should have done something else differently during the races, please let me know. I'm always looking to try and learn and improve at this game, so honestly, some constructive criticism on how I'm driving would be very helpful on how to improve. Because I know I'm not the best out there, but I want to improve. You guys want to improve. Let's all work together and try to be the best Mario Kart racers that we can be. Either way, if you guys like the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't. Anyways, that's it for me. I will see you guys next time.